Good morning, guys. We're here with Andy with Inspection Pro. He's a home inspector. He's been a resident of Virginia for 20 years. Over the last 15 years, he's done 7,500 home inspections of all types of home properties, right, Andy? We do condos and townhomes and single-family residences.
Correct.
Awesome. And you're also licensed and insured, and you're also continuing your education every year to make sure that you know all the industry standards.
D4 says so, so yes.
Awesome. So we would like to kind of just dive right in and hear, what is a home inspection?
Well, a home inspection is an evaluation by a licensed professional going through all the various systems of the house. The standard is just to find deficiencies, but I personally like to educate people as we're going through so you can more efficiently take care of the biggest purchase of your life.
Nice. Awesome. So it's a pretty big deal.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of crazy because in today's market, we're seeing people waive them. And do you have any suggestions for people that are choosing to waive the home inspection? You do offer options of having like a walk and talk prior to offering a contract.
That's correct. The biggest thing is you have to know what you're buying. You're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on the biggest purchase of your life, so really knowing what you're buying is super important. Because unfortunately there are nefarious sellers out there who are selling these houses that they can't normally sell in a regular market because they would have to make, tens of thousands of dollars in repairs. So knowing that they're putting these these houses on the market, knowing that somewhere is going to buy it.
Yeah, and it gets kind of scary because, like you said, it could be a bill that's tens of thousands of dollars and nobody is even informed.
Absolutely.
I did have a question. If they are unable to do a walk and talk inspection prior to submitting an offer, do you have any quick tips or suggestions on items, big ticket items that they should really make sure that they're looking at when they're walking a home?
I would say probably the easiest things to evaluate would be, as you're walking up to the house, you want to make sure that there are gutters, that the gutters aren't falling off the house. Really making sure that there's no negative grades near the house, which would collect water near the foundation, which is something that we're really trying to avoid. Proper drainage, roof gutters, downspouts, working together to evacuate water away from the foundation is the single most important equation on the house. Water does the most amount of damage in the least amount of time. As far as when you get to the interior, you want to be looking for large cracks around doorways, making sure doors open and close properly. If they're rubbing a lot at the top of the jamb, several of them, especially on the same wall, this is absolutely an indicator for trouble.
Yeah, definitely. How about the major systems?
Without being a professional, it's difficult to look at, a furnace and say, oh, this is a problem.
Yeah.
If it's a gas furnace, looking for any kind of water staining on the exhaust vent is typically a pretty good indicator that you're getting water inside of the unit, which, again, water does the most amount of damage in the least amount of time.
Yeah.
This is really the big thing that we're trying to avoid. As far as electrical systems, again, this is something that it takes a professional to evaluate. So it's difficult for the layman to just walk into a house and see that there's an issue with a couple of these systems. This is why inspections are so important.
Yeah.
What does a home inspection include?
For me, a home inspection, you are evaluating all the major systems of the house. Plumbing, heating, electrical, interior, exterior, roofing, drainage. I also go in the attic, I go in crawl spaces. It's not just each individual system that I'm inspecting, it's a full picture of how the house has been cared for and how it is performing at the time of the inspection.
Awesome. I know that every time I walk home, I try to see things that you see, and I often overlook things when we bring you onto the scene, and I'm just like, how do I miss that? Because I'm not a trained professional, and which is why I really appreciate everything you do for my clients.
Well, it's not just that, and clients often have the exact same sentiment. How did I not see this the first time? Well, the reason that you're there changes with each trip. The first time you're there, they're making sure that they actually like the home, that it fits with their soul, they like how it's set up. You're not looking for deficiencies like we are when we come there to do the inspection.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for a buyer, does the buyer need to be present?
I encourage them to be there. However, what I personally do now, if the buyer can't be there with COVID and lots of people from out of state, is actually shoot videos of any and all deficiencies and then any maintenance items and things like that. So I try to make the experience as much like them actually being present as I possibly can.
Awesome. We appreciate that. What happens if any problems arise during the home inspection?
I document any issue. I try to explain the source, what has to happen for it to be fixed, and how to prevent it recurring in the future.
Nice. Solve the problem, not fix it over, right? Like, the source of the problem is always the key.
Source is always the first and foremost thing that you fix. Otherwise, you just end up repairing the same problem that you've done previously, unless you take care of what is causing it.
Yeah. So, as a summary, get a home inspection. Did you have anything you'd like to add?
I mean, like, would you recommend any time where someone doesn't get a home inspection?
Really, the most common time to get a home inspection is when you're buying or selling a home. But honestly, it's not just for that. I consider it an education on how to correctly operate your home and also efficiently. I guarantee I can come in, do an inspection and show you how to save money on the first electric bill.
Can you give us some quick tips on what a seller or a homeowner can kind of look for before they put their house on market, or as far as like keeping up with the house, as far as that goes, like education wise?
Well, proactive maintenance is a lot less expensive than reactive maintenance. So really one of the big things that I, as an inspector, I'm looking for is to evaluate what kind of maintenance has been done on the house. Did they just now clean everything up, try and make it look pretty before people get there? Or has this been a house that has been cared for correctly over time?
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Maintenance is important.
Absolutely.
All right, well, I think that's gonna wrap up our first video series. We appreciate y'all joining us today with Andy with Inspection Pro. Stay tuned for more videos.